Hi guys, it's me. So today I thought we would do some watercolor doodles. I really love doing these, and these are actually going to be cards that I send to a few of my patrons. So I just have a Dixon watercolor set. That's what I'm going to use. And then this is just cheap watercolor paper that I got from the store. So that's what we're going to use. It comes like in this little pad, which I had right here. And then I like to use these card blanks. So that's what we're going to do. So all we're going to do is make a circular shape. I did prep one ahead of time, but we're going to do blue because I'm kind of into blue. And I really love these watercolor doodles. I think they're really fun. So I just mixed a little bit of like turquoise. I'm going to add some green and probably some yellow too. Okay. And then we are going to go in and kind of make a circular shape. It does not have to be perfect. These things do not have to be perfect. I will repeat that again. It does not have to be perfect. It's just kind of a fun little way for you to experiment with color. I'm going to add like different hues of blues and greens. So I'll kind of go in and go into. This is a brush that I just got on eBay. It comes in a set. It's like $3. It's some kind of rodent hair brush, but it works really, really well, and I'm really happy with the results of it. So I'm going to go in and get a little bit more color. I'm not adding much water because I want this to be very saturated, but I am going to mix in a little bit of turquoise because I want a little bit more. Get my brush just a little bit wetter too. It's kind of, sorry if you can hear my little nephew. He's having a fit right now. Little guy. So I'm just making just a basic circular shape. It's not going to be perfect. You could trace it if you wanted. I just kind of want to smooth it out a little bit. But I love just making shapes with watercolor. I think it's really, really pretty. And you can do so much with it. And then I'm going to go in just with a darker blue and just kind of let that spread a little bit. Just add little dots and pops of color everywhere. Very good. Just like that. And this little edge I don't like, so I'm going to go in and kind of clean that up. And the great thing is that the watercolor only goes where you have water, so it's a great way to practice kind of control and being in control of your watercolors. And I like these doodles. I mean, it's not as intimidating as making flowers or something like that. I am going to get a little bit of contrast in here. So for that, I have some toilet paper. And I'm going to go in and just do a little bit of blotting because I want a few interesting kind of spots. So I just take it and kind of scrunch it up and just take away a little bit of the color. Very good. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually splatter on here too, and that would be pretty, but I don't think I'm going to do that yet. We'll see. This one is totally dry. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my pins. These are my Pit pins. You know, they're like $14 for a whole kit of them, but they work really, really well, and I love them. So that's what we're going to use. So they come with different size nibs. You can just use a piece of paper to kind of see while you're working, of course, how you're going to use them. Let's see here, I did have a little strip of paper. There we go. So I'll kind of show you. So see, they have different size nibs. See that? See if I can bring it in just a little bit more. Done. Let's go in a bit more. Okay, and then we have this one. It's a little bit thicker. This one I did on paint, so it might not be. But it has a really nice thick line. And then this one I think is like a brush tip. So that's probably what we're going to use. Okay. Now, when you're doing these doodles, I don't want you to overthink it. Just kind of go with the process. So first, what I'm most comfortable doing is I'm just going to make a couple lines with this brush pen. Okay. And this is archival ink. It's really nice. So we're just going to go in and I'm going to start a little bit above my design and I'm going to go in and just make little dashes. They do not have to be straight. They don't have to be perfect. I'm just adding a little bit of interest. Okay, and then we can go in and I'm going to do another row, a little bit in between the dashes that I already made. And I really like the contrast of the black, but you could also add in white too. So we can go in, let's do one more row because we're going to work in thirds. When you're doing it, anything, it's great to work in odd numbers, right? So just makes everything look really balanced. Okay, just like that. Alrighty. And then I think that I am going to add some like half circle shapes. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my nib, add in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to add circles. Okay, and then I think that I'm going to, actually kind of like that. I'm going to go in and color around the circles with this pen. If I can do that, it might end up just being black. I should have made them a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So we're just going to go in and color it all in. Very cool. Okay, and just kind of use your imagination with this. I don't want you to overthink it, right? So just kind of use your imagination. I'm going to go in with a different kind of pen, a thinner nib, and I think that I am going to make little circles. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I will show you. And it's a fun way to practice pattern. And it's always nice to kind of switch up your pins because you get a different kind of mark depending on the size that you use. And I love these watercolor doodles. I have sent my patrons and made so many videos for them of these little watercolor doodles. So like something simple like that, nothing fancy, right? And let's do one more shape, right? One more of those half moon kind of shapes. And this time I think we're gonna kind of change the scale a little bit. So let's make it just a little bit bigger. And I say, you know, start with shapes that you feel comfortable doing first. I think for this one that I'm going to do kind of a diagonal stripe, but I really want it to be thinner. So let's see if I can find one that's, I think I have like an extra small nib. Yeah, extra small. So I'm going to go in with that. And use your 40% off coupon. That's the only way that I can afford these beautiful pins. They work so well and they're so fun to use. But let's go in and we're just, this is going to be an even smaller kind of line. And I'm just making straight. I'm just going from the top to the bottom. Keeping the lines fairly close. And don't worry if it's not perfect. It's not the end of the world. It's still going to look really cool. And I think maybe I'm going to add some white because to me it needs a little bit of balance, especially in this black one. Very cool. I like that. So kind of like that. Okay. And then let's add a little bit of white. So I'm going to attempt to use the Signo one. Probably won't happen, but I'm going to try to. I know everyone like loves that pen, but it never works for me. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. So I have a piece of paper here. Like, this is the newest one that I have, but I haven't bought any of them because I can't get them to work. So sometimes if you put it on your finger, it will work. Not very well though, but let's see if I have another one somewhere. Or I do have a Posca pink pen. Maybe I'll use that. That's what we'll do. When in doubt, use a pasta. Okay, very cool. Alrighty, very cool. Alrighty, so I definitely want to add some white in here. So I'm just going to do some plain white dots, just like that. Just very randomly. Again, we're not overthinking it. We might have to go in and add, you know, dots on top if it kind of blends into the ink. Very cool. And I think maybe in some of these, I don't know, I kind of really like that black, but I think we need some white somewhere else. But maybe we don't, actually. I don't think that we do. I think that that pop of white really makes a statement on its own. So I'm actually not going to add it. I think that that's enough. So you can just have fun with this. I mean, I love that. That's really cool. It's very dimensional and interesting. And if I wanted to, I could even trace around the circle, which would be really cool. But I'm going to stop here. And all that I would do is just attach this to the front of a card. And I really like crepe paper. I'm going to show you the difference. So that's with the white, which is interesting. But watch when I do. And I get these just at Michael's. I'll put a link. They also sell them on Amazon. It's just 50 cards and it works really, really well for projects like this. I make a lot of handmade cards. So I always need the bases and it just makes my life a little easier. But look, if I put it on top of here, then I really love the contrast of that. It's really pretty. And like I said, you could add a word, you could add other things on top of it. I'm going to keep these really simple. I usually add words and all sorts of stuff, but I think that I am going to keep it fairly simple. And this one is dry, almost dry, but we're not going to do that one because, yeah, you probably don't want to wait that long. I'm going to show you how I attach it. I just use a runner, a tape runner. This is from the dollar store, but it does work very, very well. It does hold. But I usually use my Elmer's one. I'm just out of it. So we're going to use what we have here. It is thicker kind of paper, so we might have to add some double-sided sticky tape, but we shall see. I'm just more concerned about the edges sticking more than anything else. So I kind of go around the edges. And then we'll do some in the middle too, just to reinforce, make sure that we get that on there. Perfect. And I'm not going to worry too much if this is totally straight. Like, don't obsess about it. Just stick it down. Okay, so does not have to be perfect. No one will ever notice except for you. So just kind of, I usually start at one edge, right? And then I'll smooth it out. Oops. Did not do a very good job. That's okay. And if you wanted to, you could have inked around the edges, with, which is normally what I would do. But looks cool. I like it. And it could be this way. I could give it this way or this way. So either way, it's really fun, and it's a really fun technique. So I hope that you enjoy it. This will be for one of my fabulous patrons. And thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see more watercolor kind of doodle videos. I really enjoy the process. And if you follow me on my Instagram, which is my name, Shamee Dixon, all lowercase, then you can see how I'm going to decorate the other one that we just made together, that we did with all the watercolor. And then I also have an ATC card that I need to finish up too, this one. So you can see how I decorate both of those if you follow me on Instagram. Okay, so I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.